This is no wayward wastrel on his watery way home from some wild Halloween party. Oh, no. It's another Channel 5 exclusive, The Reporter in the Water, checking in at his highly sophisticated headquarters on the most murky bend of water the Hackensack River has to offer.
Now for some journalism.
No mere helicopter, this. Our man must clamber down a precarious precipice to reach the nerve center of his multi-deck submersible, knowing full well that the Ling's pressure hull will fail should the Hackensack suddenly rise 600 feet in a trice.
A news emergency on the Hackensack River. To the periscope. It's a good thing we got this sophisticated, strategically located position here in the Hackensack River. Anything's going on, boy, we're gonna really know about it. Look at that. They'll never even know we're looking at them. Never even know. That's part of journalism. That's part of journalism. Don't let them know they're looking at you.
And so it goes. No rest for those who seek the truth beneath the surface of things. Channel 5's Reporter in the Water is out there, under there, somewhere.
We set a style here of, maybe you want to call it attack journalism, you know, where we went after people and relentlessly.
This is a Phalaenopsis orchid. Oh, right, from the Antique Fair and Flower Show. This is B. O'Brien. Maybe I can get a job pushing tuna fish somewhere. Okay. Friday night. Go. Hi, I'm Bob O'Brien from Channel 5, and it's Friday night in Washington Square Park, and as you can see, Manhattan South Narcotics is having a bit of a field day after having an afternoon of undercover buys in the park. And also, as you can see, we are right in the middle of what is going on. As we were in here shooting some weather story, we saw this motorcade coming down Fifth Avenue. It looked like the president was arriving, but they came right into the park and started busting people, and we were just lucky enough to be here. Now you can see we're here covering this story. The police officers are around. I mean, there's a big crowd around, and myself and John Miller were right here as the arrests are being made. You can see that the arrests are happening right over here, and there's a crowd in the park here. And here's John Miller from Channel 4 News, who just happened to be lucky enough to be down here doing weather also, and he has a live unit set up. And John will be going on the air live soon. And over here is his cameraman, Tom Bear, Swift guy, down here to shoot weather, and he came right on and did this story. Amazing. And, you know, it's a good example of police-press cooperation, where you can see that we can show people what obviously the police want the people to see, that there is a police presence here in Washington Square Park, and that they are doing something about a situation that people, obviously, who use the park don't want to be approached by drug dealers, complain about, and this is a show bust. Wouldn't you say it's a show bust, Mr. Miller?
I would say it's a classic show bust, but how do you wear a black tie with a navy blue jacket? That's like a fashion felony.
I don't have a stable of young fashion models to tell me
An
what to wear,
tie,
John. Like you, I'm a married man, an older person. You're going to soon be old, John, yourself. Okay, so, fellas, you can see, and ladies, that the cooperation between the press and the police in this instance serves both of our purposes. We get a good story out of this, and the police, they're here. The people in the park see that the police are here. The narcotics officers, they know that the cooperation, Inspector Kelleher, I'm doing a training tape here, basically, for the police.
New York City Police Commissioner Robert McGuire described the items seized by the raiding party in East Orange.
O'Brien is live in Newark with more. Good afternoon, Bob.
Good afternoon, Tony. The Pope will be traveling by motorcade from Newark Airport here to this magnificent cathedral that sits on a hill overlooking Newark's largest city. 3,000 invited guests will jam the cathedral and the assigned spaces and seats outside the cathedral on the grounds. Then there are those who are determined to see the Pope but have no connections, but still will stay with their determination to see the Pontiff.
A Long Island family. We first told you about them 10 years ago as a youngster got a double lung transplant. Well, now he's 15 and has had a second double transplant. Bob O'Brien has the update.
Most folks are happy to welcome the new year, but the 5 members of the Bartell family who live here in Ronkonkoma, Long Island, are very grateful just because their family is still intact as each new year rolls around.
Sit.
Landon Bartell is 15 now. and happier than most his age just to be alive and breathing. Landon spent most of his first 5 years connected to a respirator by a tracheal tube. In November of 1991, Landon got a new set of lungs at the St. Louis Children's Hospital, freeing him from the respirator and spiking his playfulness.
I got that thing. You did. You got that thing.
But when Landon was 9, he was back in the St. Louis hospital, his body rejecting his second set of lungs. Doctors would have to cut again along the same scar line on Landon's chest. Most of the handful of children who had gotten a second double lung transplant did not survive. Landon was the 13th replantation patient, and his operation was a success. Now, a high school freshman, Landon's daily dose of medications has inhibited his growth. He's 4 foot 3 inches tall, otherwise a perfectly normal teenager. The chief of the St. Louis Children's Hospital Pediatric Lung Transplant Program says Landon is among an elite group of 50 people worldwide who have survived a second double lung transplant and still enjoy a high quality of life, which Landon definitely does.
Scouts were the eyes and ears of their Native American tribes. Their job was to go out surreptitiously to places where possible enemies were located and get information on how many are out there, get up close, get details, what kind of weapons they have, what they look like, their ages, their number, and get back to their camps and report back to their tribe without ever being seen by the possible target.
With 4 bullets from his .44 caliber Bulldog revolver, the son of Sam killed Donna Lauria instantly.
Here in New York, it was the Son of Sam story that Bob O'Brien will always remember.
When the cops walked that guy into police headquarters that night, I remember saying that it was like Christmas in August because everybody was so relieved. Mayor Beam was there, beaming.
The man who had terrorized millions would kill no more.
What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me?
Joe Cocker wowed him at the original Woodstock, and he'll be back for the Saugerties event. Soon a huge stage will be constructed right down there, where rock stars from 36 of the planet's hottest music acts will gather in mid-August to entertain the more than 250,000 people expected to carpet that cow pasture with humanity. At exactly 2 in the afternoon, sirens sounded across all of Israel, symbolically unifying every Israeli as each tries to deal with his or her own personal sense of loss, grief, and shock because of the murder of Yitzhak Rabin. At Rabin's grave, thousands stood silently as the same sirens that sound each year to commemorate the Holocaust wailed for 2 minutes everywhere. People stopped, grieving in silence. As the time for Yitzhak Rabin's funeral approached, thousands of Israelis trying to get into the Knesset Plaza to file past his coffin were turned away by police. Israel's Secret Service was taking no chances, as President Clinton and former presidents George Bush and Jimmy Carter viewed Rabin's casket before it was taken for burial. Among the thousands along the procession route leading to the Hilltop Cemetery, 23-year-old Yael Balva, who made a sign with the words to a Hebrew ballad, "When the angels are crying in another world, in this world, we're even sadder."
If you get in people's face, you stay in their mind.
Why should I be?
I don't know, I'm asking.
I don't think I did anything that was not the best science, the best medicine, and the best ethics.
Dr. Hayes gave no indication his leaving office had anything to do with his Edgewood Arsenal drug experiments.
Natural relationship between a reporter and a politician has to be opposing.
The city administration has lost its fiscal credibility.
Well, that's your words. That's not my words.
I'm asking you, Mayor.
Of course not.
I would not consider in-your-face journalism one of the great advances of the 20th century.
We have team coverage tonight, beginning with Bob O'Brien in our newsroom. Bob?
Brenda, now that Chandra Levy's body has been found, Washington's medical examiner and other pathologists must try to determine if her death was accidental, a suicide, or was Chandra murdered.
The victim was crossing 4th Avenue here at 56th Street around 6:05 Monday evening. When he stepped into the northbound lanes of traffic, a car hit him, catapulting the man about a quarter block down the avenue where he hit the curb, apparently head first. Now, witnesses tell police that the car that hit and killed this man was a 1996 Dodge four-door sedan, maroon in color with New York plates. The owner of that car tells police that the vehicle is unaccounted for, possibly stolen. But police did recover at the scene the side view mirror of the car that hit and killed the man. Here on East 116th Street, the heart of Spanish Harlem, there are a lot of places where you can buy Puerto Rican flags and flag products. One of the biggest stands is Angel Estevez's Tesoros de Puerto Rico, or Treasures of Puerto Rico stand. Now, Angel has the decorated flags, but he says they're no longer for sale.
Now, we'll go to Bob O'Brien, who's got more on the security aspects and other aspects of this evening. Bob?
That's it, James. This security checkpoint, a police checkpoint at 46th Street and 8th Avenue, is one of 16 such entry points for folks on their way down to the Times Square New Year's celebration. And security measures this year match those taken during the Millennium celebration 2 years ago.
Where's Pablo? Go. I heard the tie.
Bob O'Brien is live now in Flatbush with details. Bob?
Roland, there are two widely differing stories being told about the fatal shooting of a drug suspect by a federal drug enforcement agent here on the streets of East Flatbush this morning.
And that's where Bob O'Brien is live with the latest for us. Bob?
Brenda, Saturday evening, after Carol Katsopoulos was fatally shot in the face as she was preparing Greek Orthodox Easter dinner for her husband and two young sons, her husband told police that a masked intruder had done it. Now police say that was a lie.
This latest terror alert has the city on edge. Just thinking about an attack on the Statue of Liberty has got to send chills up your spine. Our team coverage continues now with Bob O'Brien live at Liberty State Park.
Roland, a terror attack that destroys the Statue of Liberty may not kill many people when compared to the World Trade Center disaster, but losing Lady Liberty would strike at the hearts and spirits of millions of people.
More on our top story, that horrible bus crash in Midtown. Let's check back with Bob O'Brien at St. Vincent's Hospital. Bob.
6 people lost their lives in Herald Square during the evening rush hour. 9 others were injured. A van driven by 76-year-old Sidney Weinstein of Valley Stream, Long Island, mowed down 15 pedestrians. 4 people were killed on the spot. 2 others, including a 15-year-old boy, died at Bellevue Hospital. 1 woman's in critical condition at Bellevue, and a Swiss tourist, a man, is in head surgery in St. Vincent's right now. No charges yet against the driver. Bob O'Brien, Fox 5 News.
Bob O'Brien is live now in Hempstead with this story. Bob.
Roland, for several hours last night, this stretch of Henry Street here in Hempstead was cordoned off as investigators from the Nassau County District Attorney's Office and Nassau County Police executed a search warrant at the Long Island headquarters of the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club.
Bob O'Brien is live in Greenwich Village with details for us this evening. Bob?
Brenda, now there is a battle on between the families of many of the firefighters killed in the World Trade Center attack and the Firefighters Union, which wants to invest $60 million in 9/11 fund contributions, giving partial payments to the families of all firefighters killed in the line of duty and no money at all to the families of single firefighters without children who were lost in the attack.
Case unfolded in a Hackensack courthouse. That's where Bob O'Brien is live with the latest. Bob?
Brenda, 43-year-old former Clifton Middle School teacher Pamela Deal Moore made a deal with Bergen County prosecutors. They agreed to seek only a 3-year jail term after she pleaded guilty to the sexual assault of a 13-year-old boy who was her student. But then a judge sentenced her to 5 years probation, no jail time. In Greenwich Village, Bob O'Brien, UPN 9 News. The Upper East Side, Bob O'Brien, UPN 9 News. In Manhasset, Long Island, Bob O'Brien, UPN 9. In Hempstead, Bob O'Brien, UPN 9 News. In East Flatbush, Bob O'Brien, UPN 9 News. In Greenwich Village, Bob O'Brien, UPN 9 News. On the West Side, Bob O'Brien, Fox 5 News. In Liberty State Park, Bob O'Brien, UPN 9 News. In Hackensack, Bob O'Brien, UPN 9 News. In the Windsor Terrace section of Brooklyn, Bob O'Brien, UPN 9 News. In the Castle Hill section of the Bronx, Bob O'Brien, UPN 9 Jerusalem. Bob O'Brien, Fox News. In Ronkonkoma, Long Island, Bob O'Brien, Fox 5 News.
Live from Sacred Heart Cathedral in Newark, Bob O'Brien for the Fox Midday News. Tony, back to you.